Hey friends! I'm just popping in to introduce my book Suture to you. She is very excited to meet you. My name is Nick Brewer, and I spent almost the entirety of my 20s writing this book. She's due out in the world on September 21st, 2021, and it's still hard to believe that it's real, but here we are. The story of Suture is that artists have to literally use their bodies to create. Our filmmaker Eva pops out her eyes to create her films. Our artist Finn slices her chest open and uses her organs on her canvas to make art. Our writer Grace hooks herself up to an IV and uses her blood to power her word processor. They tear themselves open and they rip apart their lives, and it is the story of being alive in this exceptionally painful yet entirely optional way of life. But Suture is about what it means to be human. It is about the tiny cruelties we commit and forgive in ourselves and others, how we hurt and forgive ourselves, how we hurt and forgive the people we love, and how it all fractures and reassembles despite itself. Suture is about the toll of love, family, loyalty, and solitude, and it is about the patchwork that holds us together, about the people who do the cutting and the people who do the sewing. Suture has grown and changed as much as I have since I started writing it when I was 20. It started as an assignment. I was taking a class on satire, and for our final assignment, we could either write an essay or write a satire. Suture started as a wee angsty Nick. Don't laugh too hard, but I was using Nikki at the time. It started with me trying to explain how profoundly unjust it is to critique art, to suggest there is a standard of excellence for something so subjective and so vulnerable. And then I grew up. I learned that there are greater injustices, and that there is greater pain than being told that what you have made is not good enough. I lost myself in a bad relationship. I lost a friend to depression. I lost my grandfather. I got a dog. I realized I was gay. I found out what love feels like. I understood for the first time that the spectrum of feeling extended into a joy that I'd previously believed was fictional. So, Suture grew up too. It became a book that wasn't trying to make a point anymore, but it was just trying to share a feeling. I find one of the most comforting things in the world is to know that I am not alone in my hurt, and that after or even during hurt, there will be joy again. So Suture's characters grow with us. They dream, they crash, they hurt, and eventually they understand that there is always so much more to life than what we feel we have lost. Much of Suture was written to save myself, and now I hope that Suture can be a book that will save others too. Anyone who needs it. We love you. I'm excited for readers to meet this book, but if I'm being honest, I'm also a little terrified. It means so much to me, and it feels so vulnerable to know that I want it to mean something to other people too. I want you to feel something when you read it, whether that's solidarity or clarity or awe or something else. I want Suture to get under your skin. When I talk about one of my favorite writers, Emma McBride, I describe her writing as what it feels like to peel off another person's skin and wear it, and for that to be the only true way of knowing what another person feels, in exactly as painful and a disgusting way as that sounds. Her books split me open and remind me that we all have the same feelings, and we all feel them differently. I want Suture to be a feeling. I hope you leave Suture full of love, compassion, and maybe a new perspective on art, hurt, and mental illness. And a part of me hopes that you leave Suture just a little grossed out, too. She's out in the world on September 21st, but you can already place a pre-order so that you'll be among the first to have your hands on Suture once it exists in paper and glue. You can pre-order directly from my amazing publisher BookHug on their website or from your local bookseller. And I'm going to leave you with a little passage from the book before you go, so as John Elizabeth Stinson said, hold on to your guts. This scene is between Eva and her wife, and they are talking about Eva's newest project. It's one of my favorite little intimate moments in a creative person's life, and I wanted to read you something gay, so here we are. In the 2 years since they'd met, Eva had delved into her PhD research and begun work on her second short film. Her divorce had been finalized, and she and Dev had gone to the most expensive cocktail bar they could find to celebrate. Dev had finished her master's, and together they had found a small apartment not far from the university. Dev proposed. Eva said yes. Somehow Eva had fallen into a domestic bliss that she had never believed in, blissful since that first kiss goodbye, blissful in every morning she woke up to Dev's body beside her in bed, a contentment irreconcilable with the constant ache behind her eyes, and yet reconciled nonetheless in every quiet moment, soft glance, small touch. Dev poured their drinks and set the table while Eva warmed their leftovers on the stove and talked. I want it to hurt the way it hurts to be alive, she didn't say, mulling over how she wanted to string it all together. I want it to mean something, she did say, and Dev nodded like, it will, but it wasn't quite what she meant, so she tried again. I want it to have meaning? And Dev stopped nodding, tilted her head, and Eva kept trying. I want it to be about more than the blood,